origin story on Ideal Agent. And joining me in the studio is the founder, Steve Johnston. Welcome, sir.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Joe.
So obviously real estate is a huge market in our region, in Tampa Bay and across the country. And you've been in the game for quite a while.
25 years now.
Yeah. And Ideal Agent is sort of the culmination of a journey in real estate and a lot of experiences with real estate.
That is right. I actually got my start in the 80s. My mother was a real estate agent. And back then, things were very different. Showing a house, or there was no internet, no cell phones, no fax machines. And it was very different back then. And so if you wanted to see a house, you'd have to look through the MLS, weekly print it. And so commissions were 6 or 7%. Home values were $50,000. So I grew up in the real estate world, and that's how I got my start in that. But in the early 2000s, we started Home Discovery, which was a one-stop brokerage, and learned a ton from that. We had 300 salaried real estate agents, and we were doing phenomenal until 2006 happened. So we learned a lot from that on the high overhead with their salaried real estate agents really doesn't work, especially in a downturn. Redfin had to lay off 46% of their staff during COVID. So when we created Ideal Agent, which is a real estate technology platform, we have 2,500 of the top 1% real estate agents in the nation. So we're all across, we cover every single market. The value proposition is we'll sell your home for 2% through our variable commission model. And the real value is people call us for the savings, but the results and the experience are what they give us the reviews for. And that is sell your home quickly for top dollar. And our agents are selling average 100 homes a year. And that experience is phenomenal because they've seen everything. A lot can go wrong in real estate.
Sure.
And so navigating through those challenging times is very important. And that experience gets you the results.
So when you were in early in your family's business, was that your family's business? Was there an entrepreneurial seed there from early on?
My mother they owned Century 21 franchises early on, and my father had started his own businesses. So, I can go as far back in 16, my first business. My father just said, I saw these cars glowing in Miami, and I want to have that. And he goes, go build it. I put it on my car, and people were stopping me, and they wanted it. And my dad said, go start selling it. And he gave me the confidence to start my own business. And ever since I look back, I probably have had 10, 15 businesses. And it's just, not afraid.
Yeah.
So
that's amazing. Not afraid is a good way to live.
Yeah.
So, with Century 21, they were sort of the poster child for full service, full rate. Mm-hmm. But really what defines a lot of what you've done in the space as an entrepreneur yourself is to kind of work against that. So where was that shift that you saw that opportunity instead of just trying to be more full rate and really winning that game to actually going against some of those?
So not against it, because so what's happened is technology enables real estate agents.
Right.
All right. So back in the day, my mother probably sold 10, 12 houses a year. And that was a lot. Okay. And technology has enabled these agents to sell 100, 150 homes, and the commissions are the same. It's the only industry technology has not brought down the consumer cost. So we want to have that same exact full service. Our agents are the top agents and bring down the cost of the commission. That's what we're really trying to do. And the reason why these agents, we keep them confidential in our system until we connect them with the seller. But the reason why they want to do business with us, because real estate's hard. These real estate agents are really good at selling houses, but they also have to be really good at marketing. We take that out of their equation and we do all that for them, and we nurture the deal. We have the consumer, and then we introduce them. So we take that out of their job.
Yeah. So. And so maybe, a better way to say it is in a natural evolution of how technology should have shaped the market.
Right.
You're just doing that. And when other folks aren't, you would win.
Right. And it's not just about the real estate transaction. What our vision is to build an online seamless transaction. And how you do that is we add in our title company, our mortgage company, our property insurance. We also have a moving network we're building. And then we can hook up your satellite, utility, everything that has to do with the entire move in one place online. And so we do that at a value. And that's what we're building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So moving forward then out of working in the Century 21 space, the last you mentioned Home Discovery. So can you talk a little bit about how that came to be and sort of walk us through the arc of the company?
All right. So I actually got my start in mortgage brokerage. So started mortgage broker similar to a few months ago where people were refinancing several times. We also had our title company and we knew it was going to end. So we had to go out and get the purchase business. So we went out and started Home Discovery, which was a 2% brokerage. We did the 2% as a loss leader. We didn't care if we made money because we wanted to drive business to the mortgage and title company. Well, the Home Discovery actually took off bigger than the mortgage company. And back then we caught the eye of local investor, the CEO of Outback and founder, Chris Sullivan. He invested $5 million into us and we just took off. And we did phenomenal and things were going great. We were in Tampa, South Florida, Orlando, about to go to Jacksonville. And then 2006 hit us, and summer 2006 is almost overnight. Our call center of 300 people was always high energy, was almost silent overnight.
And so, that the dip lasted quite a while, right? So this again, looking at it from the scope of the founder and the business, can you walk us through, the minute it was silent, right? Yeah. Business is humming, it goes silent. What are you looking at then? Is how long is this going to last, or what was the trajectory after that?
I tried to do everything to save it. So we laid off people in tranches, and we thought we didn't know how deep this was going to go and how big of a problem. And we were only in Florida, which was even a bigger problem. The subprime mortgages were horrible. Myself, I bought 14 houses. So that's not normal. That's not going to happen again. And so, but we didn't realize how deep or how long it was going to go.
Right. So then let's talk about the transition then out of Home Discovery. What happened between then and Ideal Agent?
Well, I took some time off. I had a new family, which was good. I started an online platform called Active Avenue, and that was just like Nextdoor, which is worth a few billion now. Yeah. That was not a great time to raise money, right, during the Great Recession. We didn't know how to monetize the traffic either. So we shut that down. I started a trampoline park, and we had a new family. It was great. We opened 3 locations there, and we sold that in 2016. So that's my in-between time. And then I always was yearning to get back into real estate. And as soon as we sold Airheads, I had this idea and how to make it better than last time because I wasn't going to lose again on it. So that's how we came up.
So even though Home Discovery ended with a negative experience, it wasn't the business that was negative. It was the economy that was negative.
It was but here's the thing: real estate always goes in cycles, right? And there's going to be another downturn. So no matter what, we had to fix the problems with the high overhead, and we were also advertising. Real estate agents make a lot of commission. We took a different approach. Yeah. This time, the real estate agents are our partners. We'll never disparage them about the commissions or anything like that. And also, we had to fix the high overhead. Yeah. So when COVID hit, we actually did something. We had a decision to make. We could either we could have preserved cash and stopped advertising, or we kept advertising. And so what happened was people went home. Advertisers pulled out of the market because they couldn't sell their entertainment and things like that. Our rates went down on the cost, and the ratings went through the roof. And so we couldn't show houses, we couldn't list houses, but people were still calling and wanting us. And then we just took off during COVID and never looked back.
It's amazing. So you used the lack of competition and cheaper brand building opportunity and did just that.
Right. So we did Ideal Agent to fix what was the flaws of the previous business model to last during different cycles on this business model.
And can you articulate that? So obviously you mentioned partnering with the agents instead of trying to ingest the agents and make them yours. Yeah. What were some of the other major differences?
So we embrace agents now. We only work with the very best. Agents are very important. Technology will not replace real estate agents. It's too many emotions are involved in the transaction. There's too many things that can go wrong. Technology enables the real estate agents to do more, but the real estate agent is the center focus of the transaction. They control everything, and they really make the experience. So we focused on that. We get the top agents, and we got, they agreed to our commission. Mm-hmm. We scale that. We have them in every market. And so it's really been a game changer.
That's great. And let's talk a little about the founding team, because you did bring some people in early with you. How did that core team coalesce?
So I have the founding team. There's 6 of us total, and 4 of us were at Home Discovery before. Our CTO, our chief product officer, and our VP of IT all worked at Home Discovery. So these guys were out in the field. I had to lay them off. Some of my best friends, and one was working at Lazy Days, one was at Raymond James, and I said, hey, we have this idea. I'd love for you to come back, and they joined the team again. So it's been great.
Well, from a founder standpoint, and how, we, in my various endeavors, I look at lots of companies, and it is a special, unique, and awesome thing when teams stick together across multiple iterations, especially when the first one doesn't work and they come back and want to do it again. That's usually, that's a sign of a really strong nucleus. So congrats on that.
Appreciate it.
I do want to dig, I know you mentioned Ideal Agent very briefly. Can we dig a little more in sort of the full product suite and sort of what the total value prop is, and what sort of your best use cases of a person coming to use Ideal Agent?
Okay, I have several. So we really hone in on relationships. I told you that there's the human element. That's one of our core values. So the real estate agent, this is not an online lead platform where we just send the lead to them and they blast you and you get 5 phone calls and they'd never stop. It's one deal. We send that exclusive to our real estate agents. We're partners with them. It's in our best interest that they get the deal. We coach them. We have a dedicated team that just speaks to the agents. And then we have a dedicated team that speaks to every single client to let them know our full program before they connect them with a real estate agent. That's very important. Our conversion is unlike any other of our competitors because that high touch business. And the reason we do the high touch business is that we want to form that relationship with the client to make sure that throughout the journey that things are going right. And so, we make sure that that everything is going right in that. And then it also gives us an opportunity to say, hey, do you need help moving? Do you need these other services? Because, if you're selling a house, you are going to be moving. And so we can help them with that as well and make sure that the transaction is going according to plan. So it's a high touch business on that. We have another secret strategy is we have our own entire media network, media agency. We buy directly from the media networks. It's very intense. It's just like buying Google. You're constantly bidding. So that's, part of the deal. And then we have a high, obviously we spend a lot on digital as well. So we're direct to consumer, but we are a direct response media agency. So that relationship with the consumer is what separates us from the rest of the competition.
That's great. And you've been driving down your cost of customer acquisition through.
It goes up and down. It goes up and down. But here's the thing. We're trying to also monetize that through different channels. We just added our title company 6 months ago. We already have 40% month over month growth. So the agents are using us not on just our deals, but they're using it on their other deals, which is very important. And so the mortgage company will be up in the next quarter. Property insurance, all these different ancillary services are critical to making a smooth transaction. So we'll have those things in there, and that's what the platform is. A proprietary platform that we call Connect. This real estate transaction is very disjointed. You've got 7 different things that have to happen, appraisal, home inspection, title, insurance, everything. Most of the time, none of those people know each other.
Right.
They're not communicating together, and sometimes they're working against each other.
Right.
We've created this platform. You don't have to use our services, but if you do, it's all in one place.
Yep.
Everyone's communicating together. And so we call this platform Connect. We're connecting all the parties of the real estate transaction.
That's great. And then that's yet another way you're using technology to further what the real estate experience is, because that was sort of all informally done by the relationships that the agent had, but that's still just one human, and you have to reach out to them, and it doesn't have all the trappings of having your own, account online where you can track everything through one platform.
So that's what we're building in Connect. So that I talked about the other side of that with all the vendors. But the client portal is going to be like a Domino's pizza tracker for real estate. All your documents, the pictures, everything that you need. And say your house goes under contract, you'll see what's happening next. Do you need a pods, or do you need a moving network? You just you need call 1-800-GOT-JUNK to come clean out your house. You push a button, you get a discount, and everything happens seamlessly.
That's great. I know all the folks that are startup interested that are listening would want me to ask you about how you funded the second go around, the experience of home discovery and then moving on to this one. So
Sure.
What was your strategy second time?
So I funded, it was complete. I'm a big believer in putting my own money in, and I put all my proceeds from Airheads in. It ran up all the credit cards again. I had some days where the account balance was negative, but we proved out the model. We got it right. And then in 2019, we set out to do a seed round, a $3 million seed round with a $15 million valuation. We were doing pretty good. We raised $1 million until COVID hits, and then everything shut off instantly. So, and I told you about how we did after that. So we had everything almost accounted for, but they weren't going to write checks after COVID. So probably 90 days after COVID, 90% of the current investors wrote another check. And so we finalized the round probably a year after that and closed out that round. In last August, we raised with our lead investor $11.6 million from an in-center, and they allowed us also to keep raising money in that same round. And basically, they have all the services that we need, mortgage, title, that we're going to do joint ventures with. So it's pretty exciting. So the money is strategic,
yep.
And they've been a great partner. So with rolling out our title company and things like that. So we're closing this round now. I think total from seed round, we've raised approximately $20 million, and we're going to launch a significant Series B here in the next quarter.
That's great. And again, another positive sign is investors who come back and write a second check, and you had that as well. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
So sitting here as you are now at this growth stage, and kind of at a peak for now, a local peak until you hit the next one higher one. Juxtaposing home discovery to Ideal Agent, how do you feel now?
Oh, amazing. Like, I think that we really, first, we're national. We're in every single market. So we've already scaled the business. It's working phenomenally. Interest rates are going up, Ukraine, inflation. So these things are working against us, right? The good news is people want to save money during inflation. So we got that going for us. The last, February sales were down 7% nationally. March sales were down 4% nationally. Our sales were up 46%. So we are outperforming the market and we're gaining market share. So knock on wood, that continues. But this not only, having the top 1% agents, our service is amazing. The reviews are great. And we really have a fine-tuned business model that I'm very excited for.
Yeah. Sounds like value and value both in savings and value both in customer experience. Yeah.
Thank
Wonderful. You. So what's the next year? We'll finish up by talking about the year ahead. What's it look like?
The theme of our year is building, right? Last year was foundation. This year is building. And so the building means building our platform, building our team, and building all the pieces that go in there, the mortgage, the title, getting it ready for next year. So when we have everything working together next year, we can just go and scale.
That's awesome. And happy you're located here in Tampa Bay, and you have been all along. So
yeah, we love Tampa.
Steve Johnston, founder of Ideal Agent. Pleasure. Thanks for sharing your story.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.